renters. So just starting out, right here. This is the mast of the USS Midway. Mast like you'd have on a sailboat, but we don't hoist sails on the Midway. Provides a lot of the structure for the antennas that you probably noticed video above. And then throughout the ship, you're going to see a lot of cable bundles just like this. Guests will ask me, what does this cable do? Where does it go? What's its function? I have no idea what the function of that cable is. The real takeaways, we have over 3,000 miles of cable on the Midway. Now, this is the chart house. This is the home of our navigator. One of 4 positions on the ship that had to be filled by either a pilot or a naval flight officer. Now, we did have a quartermaster rating. We had 20 quartermasters on board. That additional watch standing that assists the navigator, navigational planning, celestial navigation, updating the nautical charts, the publications, operate and repair a lot of the equipment that you see in this room. Now, I do have 3 representative nautical charts in the room. The one up forward is actually Yokosuka, Japan. It's Tokyo Bay. It's where the ship was forward deployed for over 17 years. Back in the display case, I have a chart of Subic Bay in the Philippines. The ship would pull in there for replenishment as well as some of our minor repairs. And then on the table right here, I have a much smaller scale chart of San Diego Bay, which is the home of the museum. Now, over the water areas, you'll note numbers, and those numbers actually represent the depth of the water in feet, meters, or fathom, fathom being 6 feet. Last thing the captain wanted to do is run the ship aground because it was not very career enhancing. He wanted to make admiral. So we actually had a device to help him out. It's called a fathometer. Our fathometer is mounted right here on the bulkhead. But what it is, it's a sonar device. It actually measures the depth of the water beneath the keel of the ship. And we are floating. We're just tied up to the pier. We rise and fall with the tide. Our draft is about 29.5 feet. But with the air wing on board, we drop down about another 5 feet or so. Now, along or on the chart, you'll see a track line that's drawn out. And along that track line, you'll see X's. And those X's actually represent fixes. And a fix, by definition, is 2 or more lines of position at a given time. We have 4 methods of determining fixes. First one literally goes back hundreds of years. It's called visual piloting. So when you're within sight of land and you have a landmark, a known location, we could use the tower at Lindbergh Field. We'll plot those lines of position. We'll have a positional accuracy of plus or minus about 100 feet. And not bad for an aircraft carrier over 1,000 feet in line. But what do you do at night? What do you do when you have restricted visibility? Say it's foggy outside. The ship always had radar, so we could radar range off of Point Loma, Shelter Island, Harbor Island, off a pier. Again, accuracy about 100 feet. But we're going to now pick up the ship. The ship only weighs 69,000 tons. We're going to drop her in the middle of the Indian Ocean, well outside of visual as well as radar range. Well, what do you do now? Well, it turns out there was an instrument invented back in the early 1700s called the sextant. We have a picture of a sextant on the chart forward, or we have an actual sextant back in the display case. So certain times of the day when you have both a visual horizon and 1 or more navigational stars, with the sextant measuring the angle from the horizon to that navigational star, and then coupled with a very accurate timepiece, we call them chronometers. We'll plot, say, 4 or 5 star fixes. We'll have a positional accuracy 1 to 3 nautical miles. And that's not bad for open ocean. A lot of our guests ask, do we still practice celestial navigation today? The answer is yes, because you have to have some means of still autonomously getting around, because GPS could be jammed. So you may not have that available. And then finally, we had radio navigation. The early years, it was all land-based. It was called Omega and Loran. And then before GPS, you may not have heard this, but we had an early satellite system. It's called Transit. But it was 2 satellites that gave us both latitude and longitude. But because those satellites weren't always visible, we'd have to DR, or dead reckon, between our fixes. And in the early 1980s, we did get global positioning system, GPS, which I know you're all very familiar with. We just didn't have the accuracy that you have today. Our accuracy was probably about 30 meters, but with differential GPS, you're getting much better than 3 meters accuracy on your smartphone. But you need that accuracy to summon your Uber driver, right? It's very important. So from here, we're going to go forward to the navigational bridge and the pilot house. And we're going to actually walk out via Vulture Row. It's one of the few places you can actually observe flight operations in a safe manner. So let's go forward and meet the captain.